So I'm gonna try it. That was not what I meant to do. Oh my gosh, that's cold. Holy cows. And here is dinner. Welcome back, I'm Carrie and this is Keep It Simple DIY. I am doing something interesting today. I am making chicken meatballs in the Instant Pot, but it says that you just cook them in the sauce and that you don't have to brown them first. So I'm gonna try it. That was not what I meant to do. So it says to put a whole thing of sauce down in the bottom and then add some water. So I'm going to do that. Put some water in there. Now this sauce is sauce that I canned. We actually canned it together in the Homestead Happenings video. Throw this away. And when I did that, I did not season anything. So I need to actually season that before we get too far along. And it did say to get the sauce ready before getting the meatballs done. So we're gonna do that. So we have oregano, and while I'm doing this, I might as well just stick some in the meatballs as well, even though the meatballs aren't in there yet. I'm going to add parsley. Now I haven't told you what we're doing yet. I'm doing obviously an Instant Pot meal, but I'm doing some hopefully new favorite Instant Pot meals. So I am going to be filming Instant Pot meals as I cook them throughout the week, and then we will see how they do. Now I have already filmed the final one and it was a winner. It was a buffalo chicken rice meal and it was delicious. It's last because I wasn't really in the mood to put on makeup, so I decided to put it at the end of the video. But I am just getting all these spices in here, then I'll need to taste that sauce. I did get out some baking soda just because I know sometimes you need to cut the, oh, that was a lot of black pepper. Okay, we're gonna take some of that. You know what, we'll just leave that all in the meatballs, and we will not pepper the other one. I'm not a huge fan of black pepper. That was also a lot of salt, but I think we can deal with some salt. I already know we're going to need some baking soda here. So we're gonna put just a pinch. Now, what I plan to do with these is I plan to make like a meatball sub, although I don't have that kind of bread. I do have just a little loaf of sourdough, so I think this will be perfect. I cooked this in my air fryer yesterday. It was fantastic. That, don't worry about that. That's just sourdough that's dehydrating. So I'm gonna mix this up and then see kind of where we land. It did say just throw a jar of like store-bought sauce in here, but I had my own and I figured let's do that. Okay, so definitely still sour, so let me grab some sugar. Other than being a little sour, it was good, so that's all we need. Okay, mix this up. And now, quick as that came together, we are almost done with the meatballs as well because I put all the spices in already. So let's put the meat in. And this is 2 pounds of ground chicken. This is chicken that I just bought at the store when it was on a super sale, and then I ground up some chicken breasts and chicken thighs together. I just used the blender. It's more of a food processor that I use. My blender does both, but I had it on the food processor setting. And then all we need is about a cup of almond flour, so that's interesting. Seems about right. All right, let's mix this together. Now, a trick that I usually do, but I'm not doing right now, is you can mix meat like this in your mixer. But my mixer bowl is actually in the dishwasher right now. I hope you can't hear the dishwasher running. And well, I don't mind if you can hear it. I just hope it's not too loud. But I was getting things done, and so I figured might as well get the dishes going before I start dinner. Now I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do for the second recipe. Whew, that is so cold. I have a few options. There's one that I think is really cool where you can cook rice and something in the Instant Pot at the same time. And just using like a, oh my gosh, that's cold. Using a different bowl type of thing. Holy cows. I should have left that out for a bit before doing this because this is so cold from the fridge. Something else I could have done, blended this with a fork or a spoon. Okay, let's see how we get this going. So I'm going to roll these into balls. Now it says if they're too wet, you could add more of the almond flour. Now I don't know what too wet means because this is sticking together. It is a little wet though. I'm gonna stick that in. It says to make 2 layers. So we'll do the first layer, then the second layer. I haven't made chicken meatballs before. I have made, wait, that's not true. I have. I made teriyaki chicken meatballs though, not like this. I have made beef meatballs like this. And these are some freaking huge meatballs, but that's okay. I have also made something that was good, was a chicken parm meatloaf. That was cool. Like an Italian style meatloaf with marinara on top and then topped with cheese. I can't have parm. Parm doesn't like me, but I was able to put a different kind of cheese on top. I think I just used mozzarella. I'm skeptical about this, because shouldn't you have to like, oh my gosh. I'm skeptical about this because shouldn't you brown these first? Oh gosh, oh gosh. Hopefully it tastes good. Now it says to cook it on high for 5 minutes. Of course, that's once the pressure's been built up. But we'll see if I have that setting. I usually don't cook things on minutes. I usually cook it on like a setting. I usually don't cook things by the minute, like manually. I usually just pick a setting and go for it. Looks good though. This is not going to make 2 full rows though. I think I'm gonna have to like squeeze them all in 1 row because I made them huge. So maybe 5 minutes isn't the right answer anyways because of how big these are. Here is what we're looking like. I'm wondering if I should like roll them so that way they have sauce on all sides, but I also don't want to do that and end up having them be like burned on the top. I don't know, we're just gonna go for it. I'm gonna put the lid on it, turn it on. And now we need to pick a setting. I guess we'll do manual. And I want to do, we'll do 10 because those are huge. Those are probably double the size. Okay, we'll see you in heat up plus 10 plus cool down. Alrighty, this has cooked. It came down from pressure naturally because I was busy cleaning out the litter boxes, but let's see if these meatballs are cooked through. Oh, they look like it. Oh yeah, 100% cooked. I don't think the water was necessary though. Okay, see, this is really just soupy. And so I'm like, well, we probably didn't need it to be so watery because now that's more of a soup. I don't know. Gotta think through exactly what to do there. Regardless, I think we need to do a taste test and put some in this bowl and see how it goes. I think in order for the bowl to look pretty, I need 3, but we know I'm not gonna be able to eat 3 of them. All right, here is how we're looking. They look very good. They're just a little soupy, so I think it might be best to like dip bread into it rather than putting them on bread. All right, let's give these a taste test. Truth be told, I'm a little ahead of the game today. It is 5 o'clock and I am not hungry because I didn't eat lunch until like 2. But let's give this a try. Those meatballs are good. I definitely think my sauce could have used a little bit more something, sugar or something. But these meatballs turned out really good, which really, I wasn't judging the sauce, I was judging the meatballs. Hot. Don't put as much liquid as it wants you to in there. Definitely needs a lot less, especially because liquid ran out of the chicken and made some broth in there as well. But overall, I give this a 10. This is amazing. I'm actually quite impressed because I thought for sure they were going to taste weird not being browned. So anyways, on to the next. All right, I came in here and I doctored the sauce. I added a whole can, one of the big cans of tomato paste. And then I also added a whole bunch of seasonings. Basically all the stuff that I already added, I added a little bit more of it. And now it is perfect. So the meatballs already were delicious. The sauce needed some help. Now it's fantastic. What a win. Alrighty, next up we are making a Hamburger Helper style meal in the Instant Pot, but it's going to be healthy because it's homemade. I am browning some ground beef right now, which is pretty frozen, so it's going to take a minute. And then for the noodles, I'm going to be using this protein penny to make it a little bit more healthy. So we will be adding all these ingredients and starting it up as soon as this is sauteed. I just added the onions into the pot. I am going to season this with a little salt and then some pepper. And then it called for seasoned salt as well, which is a little interesting, but we're gonna go with it. And I will wait to add the remaining seasoning spices. I can add the garlic. Oh, that was probably a lot. Yeah, it'll be salty. We'll add the garlic now too. I just need to grab a spoon. I'm gonna do a heaping spoonful. I'll get that down, don't worry. It'll be touching in the bottom so it can saute. The meat is almost all the way cooked, so I'm going to add about a tablespoon of ketchup, teaspoon or so of mustard. Whoops. I did shake that first. Maybe a little bit extra because it's delicious. And then a little bit of Worcestershire. And then all that's left, we'll be putting in the noodles as soon as the rest of the beef is cooked. And then we'll cook the noodles and we will add in, well, of course we're gonna add the broth in. And then we'll add some cheese, and I'm gonna substitute Greek yogurt for sour cream, and I'll put that in at the end. I definitely wanna let it cook first before adding in, this Greek yogurt. Alrighty, here we go. We're adding 1.5 cups of the pasta, and then we want that pasta to be completely covered with liquid. So I'm gonna add, it said 2.5 cups of broth. So there is 1. I'm going to give this a mix and just see. And yeah, I definitely think we could use the extra half. So I have some chicken that's left over from making hand pies, and I'm going to just add the broth from that. And the first broth that I added was actually pork broth. That's okay. Pork and chicken, they're pretty interchangeable. Or no, it wasn't pork. It was turkey. Turkey broth was the first one. All right. So I am going to just get this pressure cooking on. Yeah, this is perfect. We're just barely covering the pasta. Awesome. I'm going to put on the rice setting because that's what I always do for pasta. Alrighty, the timer's come down. The noodles are cooked perfectly. There is a little bit of extra liquid in the bottom, which I think is actually perfect because that'll give the cheese some liquid to melt with. I am adding in the 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt subbed for sour cream. And then I'm also adding in approximately 2 cups of cheese. I'm going to let this sit here for a bit, let this cheese finish melting, let the noodles soak up a little bit more of that liquid, and then I'll mix it again and give it a try. Alrighty, I haven't let this sit that long. It's been like a minute, but you can tell it's already starting to thicken up, and the longer it'll sit here, the more it'll thicken up. By the time I put the leftovers in the fridge, this probably won't have hardly any liquid in it. I've done this a few times before to know that, but let's give this a taste test, see if I need to add any seasonings. That is good. I don't think it needs anything. I think that's perfect. And here is dinner. The last meal that I'm going to be making is one that I'm super excited about. I've been on a little bit of a buffalo chicken kick, so I have some buffalo sauce, and we are going to make buffalo chicken rice with chicken, of course. So this is a 1-pot meal. It has everything. It has the protein, the veggie, the starch, dairy. It's got it all in here. So I need to grab my church key, and I'm going to get everything on in here. Now I think I actually should start with the rice. So I have 1 cup of rice, and usually I would rinse it, but for some reason I'm just not wanting to do that right now, so I'm not going to. What I have is I have a pint of canned chicken. You could use any kind of chicken. It doesn't have to be canned. I just figured canned chicken makes me think of like buffalo chicken dip, and so I figured that would be the right way to go. I also have a jar of pork stock, pork stock is so that the rice has something to cook in. I like to do a 1-to-1 ratio plus a little extra. Plus we'll have a little bit extra just from in this jar of chicken. And then I also have some onions, and you know, I probably don't want all of this onion stock, so let me find something to do with this. I did go back and forth on if I wanted to use canned onions, frozen onions, or fresh onions, and I chose canned just because everything in here is going to be cooked all at once anyway, so I figured it would be fine. I have celery from the garden last year that's been frozen, so I'm adding that in as well. And then we'll add all of these spices. I have here salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. Super excited about this. I have never cooked this. This is my favorite kind of meal though, is to dump everything in the Instant Pot and have a meal. It's not Instant Pot, it's pressure cooker. I say that all the time. Okay, garlic. Oh, that was onion. Well, I meant to put a little more garlic. Black pepper. Little more garlic because garlic never hurt anyone. And then we're adding some buffalo sauce. Now, the recipe only calls for like a few tablespoons, but I've learned that anytime a recipe calls for a few tablespoons, it's not enough. So we're going to add a little bit more than that, and then I can always add more later. And that's how easy this is. I need to plug it in. And then I just need to start it up. I always cook everything that has rice on the rice setting. So once this is done, we will mix it up, add some ranch, add some cheese, and then we will have dinner. This just finished up, and honestly, it doesn't look appetizing yet, but I'm going to mix it all up, and then I think we'll be good. I am thinking I probably need quite a bit more buffalo sauce in here. So let's get this cheese in, and then we'll continue mixing, because I want that cheese to melt. And that is mozzarella and cheddar. And while I do that, I'm going to grab a little bit more of the buffalo sauce. I don't know why recipes call for like 2 tablespoons of buffalo sauce. Oh, that might be a little much. That's all right. And I'll add some ranch while I'm at it. We're measuring with our heart today. There we go. That is looking great now. I'm actually really excited about this. A little parsley just for presentation. If I had fresh, that would be even better. Alrighty, let's give this a taste test. That is so good. Yep, it's still so good. This is fantastic. I'm very happy about this. If you enjoyed this style of video where I am cooking multiple meals in one video, give this video a thumbs up, and I will leave a link to some more for you to watch later. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.